Hi everyone. So I decided to do the reading for today, just the first reading from the gospel, not the gospel, just the first reading for the church today, because I found it very beautiful, and I'll just read it for you. It's a reading from the first letter of St. John. Who can overcome the world? Only the man who believes that Jesus is Son of God, Jesus Christ, who came by water and blood, not with water only, but with water and blood, with the Spirit as another witness, since the Spirit is the truth, so that there are three witnesses, the Spirit, the water, and the blood, and all three of them agree. We accept the testimony of human witnesses, but God's testimony is much greater, and this is God's testimony, given as evidence for his Son. Everybody who believes in the Son of God has this testimony inside him, and anyone who will not believe God is making God out to be a liar, because he has not trusted the testimony God has given about his Son. This is the testimony: God has given us eternal life, and this life is in his Son. Anyone who has the Son has life. Anyone who does not have the Son does not have life. I have written all this to you so that you who believe in the name of the Son of God may be sure that you have eternal life, the word of the Lord. Sorry, that was Friday's, that was yesterday's. And then this is for today, a reading from the first letter of St. John. We are quite confident that if we ask the Son of God for anything, and it is in accordance with his will, he will hear us. And knowing that whatever we may ask, he hears us, we know that we have already been granted what we have asked of him. If anybody sees his brother commit a sin that is not a deadly sin, he has only to pray, and God will give life to the sinner, not those who commit a deadly sin. For there is a sin that is death. And I will not say that you must pray about that. Every kind of wrongdoing is sin, but not all sin is deadly. We know that anyone who has been begotten by God does not sin, because the begotten Son of God protects him, and the evil one does not touch him. We know that we belong to God, but the whole world lies in the power of the evil one. We know too that the Son of God has come and has given us the power to know the true God. We are in the true God, and we are in his Son, Jesus Christ. This is the true God. This is eternal life. Children, be on your guard against false gods, the word of the Lord. So I just wanted to read that. It's just confirmation that this world is under the power of the evil one. It's under Satan's control, but we are in God. We live and move and we have our being in God, and we believe in the Son of God. So even though this world is under Satan's power, we can still do what we can to achieve good and to accomplish good, and to know that God has given us eternal life, and this life is in his Son. It's in Jesus. It's very upsetting today, all the things that are happening in the world. And many of the things that are happening today happened in the 70s, where aeroplanes are blowing up in the sky, falling from the sky. And if you watch the movies, they mention it. Like if you watch the Elvis movie, you'll pick up on some of these things that were happening then, that are happening again now. And it's very disheartening if you don't have your faith. It's very upsetting. Even if you have your faith, it's upsetting. I know that for me, I get an upset stomach and I have to use my essential oils with now it's this fire in California. All those beautiful homes being destroyed, people's livelihoods, lives are being lost. It's very upsetting. But we can pray for them. People like me who don't have money can only offer our prayers because we don't have good paying jobs, we don't have incomes coming in, we can't even meet our rent and pay our bills, and it's very depressing. But we have our lives, we have our life to pray for them, we have our faith, and that's what people like me can do, because we don't have the money to give. And in fact, now I've stopped giving money to the church because I was reading in the scriptures, and I was reading also some of the catechism of the church, and they're saying that when you don't have money, it's a sin to actually give donations and things to the church. So I'm not going to give any more money to the church, because from the time I came here to Canada, I've been volunteering and I've been giving donations to the church for our statues. Even the statue we had commissioned from Spain of Our Lady, I contributed to that for our family, because when I do things, I don't just do them from me. I do them under the name of my dad's family, under Alex Fernandez's family. So I put my name and I put Alex Fernandez's family. So whatever blessings I get, it also goes to my family. And I do that with the enrollments as well that I do. When I send prayer cards or I do prayers for people, I do it that way as well. And it's hard. It is very hard. I know for me that now I'm telling people I want to go to America because there's no jobs here. And it's not that I don't like Canada, but it hasn't worked out for me. And there are a lot of executive assistant jobs that don't get advertised, they're given through referrals. So if somebody puts your name forward and somebody recommends you, you'll get that job. But the other thing is that for me and for a lot of people who have grown up in Zimbabwe and come from Zimbabwe, we don't want to just be told what to do and just do only that. We want to have a voice at the table, we want a partnership, we want to be able, when we're told what to do, to say, this is what I think also could work, or this is what I think is a better solution. Not just do your job and do what you're told. And that's the problem I had at TD from the beginning. There were very few executives who actually wanted to listen to my voice and to have my input into how things were being done and how things were being run. They wanted to tell me how to live my life, that I couldn't just go, I couldn't just do things. Even on the contracts, when I did things, I did them logically, and I asked logical questions. So when I worked for Laura at TD, when they were telling me that they're going to have a meeting and they're going to Montreal, naturally I asked, where is the office? And she turned around and bit my head off and said, it's not in an office, it's at a home. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So, I mean, it hasn't worked out. That's basically it at the end of the day. You know, I've done my best here, and it's going to be a loss for Canada because I've made up my mind. I want to go and work in America, and I want to work as an executive assistant. And a lot of jobs are opening up there. And for me, I haven't had the support that I need here. I haven't had the support to get my John Maxwell going. I've reached out to many places, many colleges, many professional organizations. I reached out to WITS in South Africa. I didn't get the support there. I reached out to schools in Zimbabwe. I didn't get the support there. So there's no point me going home to Zimbabwe, because if I go back to Zimbabwe, I'll be left jobless. And then what am I going to do? Become a sex worker or become a domestic worker? I mean, I'd rather go to America and work as an executive assistant. And I know what people are saying, oh, now they've got a convicted felon running the country and all that. You know what, the judge obviously thought that it was better to waive those charges that were brought, because if they really felt that Donald Trump should be seen as a convicted person, they would have made him step down from the presidency. They've done it before with other presidents in their country. And I feel there's better chances for me succeeding there. When I've talked to my friends in England, they've told me not to come back because they've said that it's not the same and there's a lot of people out of work and I won't get the good opportunities that I deserve. So that's my plan. That's what I'm planning to do. And I'm praying about it. I prayed about it for a long, long time before I reached this decision. I've always liked America. I've always wanted to study there. I've enjoyed my trips there. So I'm hoping that an opportunity will open up there, because here, even in the church, I couldn't get support. I got support from the Jesuits in Britain to help run retreats online. And the Jesuits in Canada haven't even given me that opportunity. So to me, it doesn't make sense to stay here because my life is being wasted. And it's not fair for me to keep asking my mother to help me with groceries, or my sister, or my aunt and uncle who are in Zimbabwe, or my aunt in America. It's not fair to them because they are getting close to retirement now. My mother's retired, and I took on that responsibility. When I sponsored her and I brought her here, I was supposed to provide for her. So we did it as a family, my brother, my sister, and I, but I signed those papers. So it's not fair to me to continue to waste my life here. Other people are doing very well. They're going on trips, they're going on holidays, they're running their John Maxwell, and I'm not getting the support. And like my mother told me, they don't like me. So there's no point really me staying here, because they can say they like me, but if they liked me, they would have opened doors for me, they would have gotten me into good paying jobs, they would have supported me and my family, because they know that we're good people, but they're not doing that. So for me, I've assessed everything, and I know that there's good and evil everywhere, but this is what I think would be the best thing for me to go, best place. I'm not interested in going to Dubai, although I did apply for jobs there, because my faith is very strong and I have a big mouth. So when it comes to my faith, I have a big mouth and I don't keep quiet. And so I don't feel that that would be the right decision to go somewhere like that where Christians are not accepted and you have to obey the Muslim laws. So that's what I think, but I took courage from that reading, and that's why I decided to share it. And I think it's sometimes, no matter what we do, life doesn't turn out the way that we want, because there are other people involved, and some of them are evil, like Colonel Tom Parker. Some of them have their own interests of what they want to achieve and accomplish. And even in our own families, even when I got a lawyer and I sent a letter to Credit Suisse and I sent the email to my uncle to say that I am not taking the psychiatric treatment, I did it in consultation with my doctor. So sometimes we have to take those decisions for ourselves, and we have to know why we are doing it, because it's my life. It's my life at the end of the day. And the same way that Riley, Elvis Presley's granddaughter, took control of Graceland, it was good. I supported her in that, because at the end of the day, that's what her mother wanted. So I think it's important to remember that we have agency, and God created us to make our own decisions. And the decision I'm making is not something that's going to hurt Canada. It will be good for Canada, because Canada doesn't really want me here anyway. Because if they did, they, including the Jesuits, they would open doors for me. They would help me get into good paid jobs. They would get me involved in retreats. They would help me and my family. And they're not doing that. So it will be good for me, and it will be good for Canada. If people are always saying you are the problem, then you need to remove yourself from the equation and go somewhere where people will value what you're bringing to the table. And other people have also told me that you're better off if you go to America or go back to England. So it's not a decision I've made on my own. Even friends in Zimbabwe that I grew up with, they told me you better try to go to England or try to go to America. And my brothers also said that. Friends I have in England that I grew up with, Bhavna Taylor, they've all said that to me. Try to go to America, because your life is being wasted, your education is being wasted, and your skills are being wasted, and the years are going. So if there's people watching this video who have executives they're connected with in America, I would appreciate it if you could put my name forward, and if you could tell them that you know somebody who's an executive assistant and an HR professional and is looking for work. Because this singing thing, yes, I'm doing it, but I don't think what's going to happen for Elvis is going to happen for me. But I'll carry on doing my singing. My friends like it, people like it on YouTube. So I'll carry on doing my singing and my piano. And who knows, maybe something will open up from that. But some people do get chosen. There's a lot of people that Sting sings with. There's a lot of people that he's done duets with. There's a lot of people that Bono sings with. But they make their choices because they have their favorites and they have people that they like. And I'm obviously not one of them. So I have to do it on my own, just like I've done everything else. And I believe in the Presley power. I believe in that faith and that love and that hope that he brought to me. And whenever I get let go, it's devastating for me. I hate it because I know it's going to take me 6 months to a year to find something else. One time it took me almost 2 years to find something else. And it's very depressing. And the only thing that helps me is his music. Because I listen to that gospel music. I listen to all his music, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and everybody copies him. Turning on the lights, going around kissing the women, everybody copies him. But he had his own reasons for doing that, and that only came about afterwards, once his marriage broke down with Priscilla. He never used to go around kissing all the women and all that. He's a really nice man. And it doesn't matter who overtakes him, the Swifties and whoever, there'll never be another artist like him, because they didn't have to deal with the challenges that Elvis had to deal with. The racism, the technology was different then. He was the first one to give a global concert, satellite concert, and to deal with your own manager working against you. Believe you me, I know what that feels like. And it's really awful. So that's my prayer. I hope this new year will bring changes and that I'll be able to get an executive assistant job in America, or maybe a job here working for the Americans where I can do a hybrid role, work from home and then go to America sometimes. But that's what I think anyway, and that's what other people have suggested to me. And even my friend Josie, we agree on that. We confirm that this world is under Satan's power. And until all of us come to Christ, it will always be under Satan's power. Because the things that are happening are evil. They are evil. And good people are suffering.